Hey campers, welcome back to day 4 of Camp Craftopia's Summer Camp Takeover. This week, we're doing cryptids. And on day 4, we're doing cryptids of the desert. What desert cryptids can you guys think of? Oh wait, I'm gonna pull a Dora the Explorer. Exactly what I was thinking too. El Chupacabra. Want to see how we made this? Stay tuned. Coming to us from the Spanish word for goatsucker, El Chupacabra is a legendary creature of the Americas that was first sighted in Puerto Rico in the 1970s. Quite literally vampiric in nature, Chupacabra attacks and drinks the blood of livestock, most notably of goats. Descriptions of the Chupacabra vary. In Latin American countries and Puerto Rico, it appears alien, scaly with like a row of spines from the top of its head to the base of its tail. Coming in at about 3 to 4 feet tall, it moves in like a similar way to the kangaroo, taking little tiny hops from place to place. And in the American Southwest, the Chupacabra takes on a more canine appearance, looking like a hairless dog with a pronounced spinal ridge, massive eye sockets, fangs, and claws. Since being first sighted in Puerto Rico, there have been reported Chupacabra sightings as far north as Maine and as far south as Chile. And there have been reports even of the Chupacabra from outside of the country in places like Russia and the Philippines. Notably, all the reports are anecdotal and are completely unsubstantiated as they lack any real evidence. There have been verified sightings in northern Mexico and the southern United States, which have been confirmed to be various dogs afflicted by mange. And according to wildlife management officials, the Chupacabra is nothing more than an urban legend. Interestingly, Chupacabra gained its name from a Puerto Rican comedian, Silverio Perez, who gave it the name while commenting on the attacks that happened in 1995 on his radio show. So let's walk it back a little bit. Because in 1975, in the small town of Mocha, a series of gruesome livestock killings were attributed to a satanic cult initially. But later on, after more killings were reported around the island, and there were animals that had been found to have been bled completely dry through small circular incisions on their bodies, the legend of El Vampiro de Mocha began. This tale would later be attributed to the Chupacabra as the story grew more widespread. The first attack, reported to be the actual Chupacabra, was in March 1995, where 8 sheep were found dead in Puerto Rico. Each sheep had 3 puncture wounds in its chest and were, quote-unquote, completely drained of blood. A few months after this attack, Madeline Tolentino reported seeing the creature in a different city where as many as 150 farm animals and pets were reportedly killed. And then shortly after this attack in Puerto Rico, animal deaths were reported practically everywhere and were all attributed to the Chupacabra in places like Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, the Dominican Republic, El Salvador, Peru, and the US, as well as a bunch of other Latin American states. In December of 2018, there came a string of reports of Chupacabra in Manipur, India. Many domestic animals and poultry were killed in the same manner, completely drained of their blood. Many reported seeing the Chupacabra, but forensic experts disagreed, stating it was a pack of street dogs responsible for the mass killings after studying the corpses. In October of 2019, a video was recorded by Mundo Ovni, which shows the results of an apparent attack by the Chupacabra. Now, this is the results, not the actual Chupacabra. But following a 5-year investigation by Benjamin Redford and being documented in his book, Tracking the Chupacabra, the description given from the first sighting in Puerto Rico in 1995 matches the creature still from the movie Species. I don't know if you guys remember that movie, but apparently Madeline Tolentino believed that creature and the events she saw in Species were happening in reality in Puerto Rico at that time. So Bradford goes on to say that this most important, this is the description of the Chupacabra. It has, it can't be trusted, and it completely undermines the credibility of the Chupacabra ever existing because Madeline really loves Species. Additionally, the reports of bloodsucking were never confirmed by necropsy, which is the only way to test if an animal was actually drained completely of its blood. Further analysis of over 300 victims of the Chupacabra by a veterinarian reported that none of them had been blood dry. So in October of 2010, biologist Barry O'Connor concluded that all Chupacabra reports in the U.S. were simply coyotes infected with Sarcoptes scabiei and scabiei. Who knows how you say that? These symptoms would explain the features of the Chupacabra: the patchy or missing fur, the rough skin, the foul odors, and the disease even weakens the animal's body so much that they're not likely to hunt like a deer or a rabbit as they are to go for livestock because it's an easier kill. There's even reports of stray Mexican hairless dogs being mistaken as the Chupacabra. So the Chupacabra has its place in pop culture, appearing in movies, music, and TV shows, as well as in Magic the Gathering cards, and notably on an episode of The X-Files from 1997. And I actually remember that one. So what do you guys think? Is the Chupacabra real? I'm more inclined to believe that this one is just a sad case of sad dogs having sad things happen to them than an actual creature, especially because the alien-like description matches the description of the alien from Species, and that lady thought that was happening like real life, real time. That's a little disappointing to me, although in my drawing I combined that description with the dog description to come up with the artwork, because I do kind of like the idea of it being an alien dog creature sucking the blood out of creatures. But since so much of it has been discredited, I'm inclined to believe that maybe the Chupacabra isn't real, although there are some sources that attribute it to some other local like type legends, but they're not really local legends. I mean, I guess kind of to the region, but the Ozark Howler, which is like a bear-like creature, that's an urban legend. And the Puchens of Chile also have like similar habits, but instead of being a dog, they're like giant winged snakes. There is like a rumor that the Puchens are the reason, or like a story for the vampire bat, which is like an animal that's endemic in that region. And then in the Philippines, there's a creature that's kind of similar called the Sigbin, and it shares a lot of the descriptions of the Chupacabra. So there is a little bit there like in the history, but there's not that much information like other cryptids that you would see where it'd be like this sighting, and this sighting. It's basically like everyone saw a stray dog or some creature that maybe was just a starved dog, and that's why they attribute it to the Chupacabra. It's a little bit hard to get into. This one is a little bit less believable for me than the other ones, which is so crazy because they're all a little bit silly. But this one I was like, the only like hardline description you have outside of mangy dog is from a lady who is a big sci-fi buff. Like, I don't really know what's going through her head, but she really believes that stuff's happening real time. And that really threw the whole like tale of the Chupacabra for me. I've never seen this creature. I have seen a lot of coyotes. I don't think I would like to see this creature, especially my version. Not about seeing that in like a dark place in the middle of the night. But it is kind of scary and sort of strange because they don't really know what put all those puncture wounds into all those livestock. So like it could have been a big massive hoax that just started to like spread across like the Americas, like where everybody was just puncturing and murdering livestock for some reason, or it could just be like bad attacks by like sad dogs. And there we have it, campers. We have our very own shifty-eyed El Chupacabra little notebook. I don't know what we would call this, a little sketchbook clipping of El Chupacabra with our Chupacabra case tag, a little journaling card that you can journal on the back of, and a spot you can journal on the back of altogether. Isn't that neat? I'm excited with how this came out. I was kind of on the fence about whether or not I wanted to draw in the eyes again or not. I decided to use ones that came with the image. If you do not have this image, it is available on a sheet of cryptid images available on my blog for free use to download there so you guys can follow along or make cryptids of your own. I'm really interested to see what you guys thought of for desert cryptids and what you thought of this. Are you going to try it out? Let me know in the comments below. And stay tuned because we have one more day left of Camp Craftopia's Summer Takeover Challenge, and I hope to see you there. Till next time, happy camping! Bye!